You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later God cut you down, sooner or later God cut you down. Go tell that long-time liar, go and tell that midnight rider, tell the rambler and the gambler and the backbiter, tell him the God's gonna cut him down. can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, God cut you down. Sooner or later, God cut you down. Go tell that long-time liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler and the gambler and the backbiter. Tell him the God's gonna cut him down. Tell him the God's gonna cut him down. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, God cut you down. Sooner or later, God cut you down. Go tell that long-time liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler and the gambler and the backbiter. Tell him the God's gonna cut him down. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, God cut you down. Sooner or later, God cut you down. Don't tell that long-time liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler and the gambler and the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down.
Welcome everybody to the Wild Horse Broadcasting as we get ready for Sim Ability at Talladega. Tonight's action is going to be high-paced. About 7 minutes left here in practice. Billy Wise top of the leaderboard in the speed charts, followed by Brian Lawhead, Tom Johnson, Jen Capers sitting in 4th in the 13 machine. Jason Lance 5th, last week's winner. DJ Brown's 6th, Cody McGork 7th, Clinton Moore 8th, Stephen Keeper 9th, Johnny Berardi 10th, Eddie Hawks 11th, Harrison Chandler here tonight, sitting 12th, Michael Eaton 13th, Andrew Smith also here, he's getting ready to make a lap. As you see the two Fords of Cody and Tom working together there. Also the third Mustang there, Harrison Chandler in the 29. There during practice. Better get out of the system now before the race gets here. All the time ticks away. We'll go ahead and run some commercials and pay some bills. I give thanks to our sponsors who make all this possible. Sim Ability, Florida Paver Sealing, Admin Box, Project VetJet, Action Sports Foundation. We got about another 2 minutes and 20 seconds left for tonight's race before we get to qualifying. Which qualifying here really doesn't matter all that much. It's all about missing the big one. There's Michael Eaton, a solo Toyota here tonight. There in the icing machine, the 76 of Jason Lance. Back-to-back weeks here. Latte Mobile 66 Brian Lawhead. Alright, that wraps it up for practice. It's time for the drivers to make their money lap. see Billy on his first lap was stayed up high and get all the momentum. Now he's moved down the low line. Go the shortest way around the track. Billy puts himself fourth spot with a 54.753. As you see the speeds there. Hawks with a 54.646. Tom Johnson outside pole right now for 54.743. Stephen Kiefer in the 22 sitting third with a 54.751. Billy Wise we just rode with. Brian was able to jump from 12th up to 8th. Harrison Chandler able to jump up there on his second lap all the way up to second spot with a 54.733. Right now, that's your pole sitter, the 45 Eddie Hawks. All right, let's take a look at tonight's lineup for Talladega. Sitting on pole, the 45, Eddie Hawks. Outside him would be the 29, Harrison Chandler, followed by Tom Johnson starting third. Stephen Kiefer starting fourth. In the third row, you have inside Billy Wise in the 32, and outside him, the 76, Jason Lance. Row number 4, Andrew Smith in the 87, and Jacob Vaughn in the 1. Row number 5, Brian Lawhead and Johnny Berardi. Derek Brown in the 69, starting 11th. Jen Capers starting 12th in the 13 machine. Starting 13th in the 89, Quentin Moore. Starting 14th in the 28, Cody McGork. After that heartbreak last week, he's looking to rebound this week. And starting dead last in the field, the lone Toyota, Michael Eden in the 8 machine. We'll be going 60 laps around the 2.5 mile super speedway at Talladega. Track's wide enough to go 4 wide in, 3 wide, 5 wide sometimes if you feel brave enough. And the runs that these cars create makes this race so much better than the next gen. The 45, Eddie Hawks, sitting on the pole. Paralyzed Veterans of America car. Getting ready to bring him to the green. Pace car is in. And he brings him into the restart zone, so we wait for the initial flag. As the restart zone, it's down here in the middle of the tri-oval, because the start-finish line, Talladega, they decided to put it down closer to turn 1, just to give you that little bit more of action. Green flag is out. Jason Lance made a smart move, dropped down the inside already, go in line. As the field comes out of 2, Eddie Hawks out front. Here comes Harrison Chandler with a run with him and Stephen Kiefer and Derek Brown there on the outside. Actually, I was wrong. That's Jacob Vaughn in the 1 there. Lap 1's going to go to Eddie Hawks. Looking back at the field from your leader. Most of the field's 2x2 right now. Here comes the outside line with that run again. On the inside line, you have the 45 of Eddie Hawks and the 23 of Tom Johnson working together. That bomb line prevailing right now. You see Eddie and Tom able to pull out in front of Harrison. That's leaving Billy Wise sitting there in 3rd. Nose to nose with Harrison. Ryan aboard, Cody McGork here. He's just pacing laps right now. Quint Moore's right behind Derek in that 69 machine. The high side. High side starting to make a little bit of ground there. As Harrison's back up there battling for second with Tom Johnson right now. Here comes Harrison challenging on the outside again. The yellow flag is out. As Jen in the 13 and Andrew Smith in the 87 came together right there in the tri-oval, bringing out that yellow. Let's see if we have any takers for pit road. If anybody's going to come in and get fuel. A few of the guys, middle of the pack. All right, lights are off on the pace car. The field's restacked. Eddie Hawks out front, followed by Harrison Chandler. Tom Johnson third. Billy Wise fourth. Derek Brown fifth. Mike Wheaton sixth. Johnny Berardi seventh. Quentin Moore eighth. Jen Capers ninth. Stephen Kiefer 10th. Jason Lance 11th. Jacob Vaughn 12th. Cody McGork 13th. Andrew Smith 14th. Brian Lawhead 15th. Pretty much everybody from 10th on back pitted there that last caution. There's a good shot out of the side of Eddie Hawk's vehicle. Looking there at the 29 of Harrison Chandler. Pace car is in. As Eddie brings him into the restart zone. They fire off. Tom getting lined up behind Eddie there on the bottom line. That combo worked pretty good there for those opening laps. Hoping to continue the success there. As Tom's pushing Eddie down to turn 3. Up on the high side, you got Harrison and Billy. As Billy's starting to close on that bumper. Hoping to give Harrison a good push down the front stretch here. Seeing Billy there for a good push going into 3. Got Harrison right up next to Eddie. Harrison Chandler out front for that lap. As up top, you got Harrison Chandler, Billy Wise, and Quentin Moore in that 21 machine. Oh, Quentin with a little bit of a push there in the middle of the turn. It's a little ill-advised. That allows the bottom line to pull back out front there. As Harrison gets out to the car length in front. Quentin all over the back of Billy there. Hey, Hawks got him right there at the line. That's the outside line's falling apart a little bit. Quentin dropped from the high side down the low line. He's there behind the 69, Derek Brown. You see the 28, Cody McGork, putting it there on the high side. He's making a run. But he doesn't have any help, so we'll see how far he gets. Well, he's able to jump up there for a little bit, but now he's right back to where he started. Your top 5, Eddie Hawks out front, followed by Tom Johnson, Harrison Chandler, Billy Wise, and Derek Brown. As Eddie got credit for leading that lap. Your field 2x2x2 right now. As Billy's trying to push Harrison all the way out front. Harrison credit for the leading lap. Looking down on second spot, Tom Johnson right there in the 23. As he runs right behind your leader, the 45, Eddie Hawks. As you see Harrison using that draft, getting up there, and just getting Eddie at the line once again. Seeing Billy Wise there for a great push to get Harrison out front. That push was so good, it was able to Harrison to clear Eddie and get down to the bottom line, control the pace now. Let's see if Harrison starts trying to control both lanes or if he's just going to keep it down there and stay next to his best friend, the yellow line. Right there's a show of your top 3. Harrison Chandler, Eddie Hawks, and Tom Johnson, followed by Derek Brown in the 69. Billy Wise there on the high outside. With the 22, Stephen Kiefer behind him, trying to push him up front. The high side is trying to get lined up now, get all organized. As Eddie's pushing that Mustang all the way down that backstretch. Few of the guys flirting with disaster there by clipping the apron. That bomb line is really starting to move. Your top five, nose to tail: Harrison Chandler, Eddie Hawks, Tom Johnson, Derek Brown, Jacob Vaughn. Whoa, we got some action there between Steven and Billy Wise. Jacob Vaughn jumps up there the high side. Right along with DJ here. The 99 machine has made his way up to fifth there. Johnny Berardi. Nice getting past there by Jason Lance in the 76, who's trying to bring that outside line back up to the front as he pulled up there in front of the one of Jacob Vaughn. Jason's bringing the outside line. He's almost up to the front there. He's battling with Harrison for the lead. Jason Lance to the front. He gets credit for leading that lap there. As Jason and Harrison are battling for the lead, with Eddie and Jacob pushing them. Eddie's able to stay just a little bit closer, keeping that line going just a little bit better. Harrison with credit for leading that lap. But Jason Lance getting back out front just by a nose there. Well, top line's falling back now. They're able to make their momentum. Here comes Cody. Cody's going to get to the front of that outside line. Let's see what him and Jason can do together. I imagine Jason's going to push him right to the front. Let's see if the Wings of Rescue gets up there. Harrison gets credit for leading that lap, but here comes the 28 of Cody McGork on the outside. And he's got one of the best, Jason Lance, pushing him. Pair of Mustangs out front with a pair of Camaros pushing. Harrison's going to lead that lap. Eddie Hawk's out front now. That high side's still fighting, but that low side just has the shorter way around, able to keep it going. Cody McGork gets credit for leading that lap. The high side wins that lap. Here comes Cody back on the outside again, trying to get another lap led. Riding with last week's winner, Jason Lance, as he's pushing Cody out front. Coming to halfway right now. 30 down, 30 to go. Eddie Hawks out front, followed by Harrison Chandler, Cody McGork, Tom Johnson, Jason Lance. Does Cody have what it takes to get the job done tonight? After a heartbreak from last week, hopefully he can rebound, get in the victory lane for the first time this season. He's definitely looking strong here tonight. Tom Johnson with a strong run tonight. Well in the top 5 all night long. As Billy decided to jump down from that high line down to the low line and behind Tom. Harrison able to push Eddie Hawks out there. They got a nice little gap between them and Tom. Seems like with these cars, when you want to push, you can really push. Right aboard, Cody McGork there on the high side. See as Cody's able to work his way up there. He's almost with the leader, Eddie. Get a little bit of that side draft there. So Cody's out front right now. He's neck and neck with Eddie. Cody for a brave move there. The dive down to the low line. Just barely getting himself clear. Here comes Jason Lance and Jacob Vaughn into one. Up on the high side. Cody McGork out front, followed by Eddie Hawks, Jason Lance, Harrison Chandler, Jacob Vaughn, your top five. Tom Johnson, 6th. Stephen Kiefer, 7th. Billy Wise, 8th. Quentin Moore, 9th. Derek Brown, 10th. Brian Lawhead, 11th. Jen Capers, 12th. Johnny Berardi, 13th. Andrew Smith, 14th. Michael Eden, 15th. So we got 25 laps to go. High side's really died off here. It's only Jacob and Jason out there. Everybody else is filing down there on the low side. Not sure how close to pit stops we are. It's probably going to be a quick splash and go, I'd imagine. The Wings of Rescue. Ford Mustang out front. Cody McGork in the 28, followed by the 45, Eddie Hawk, and the 29, Harrison Chandler. Your top three right now. So they're coming to 22 laps to go. So the field makes its way around Andrew Smith there. The 45 on the backside of that 28, pushing them down the backstretch. Here comes Jason, charging once again on the outside. We got a Jennifer Capers fan out there in the YouTube chat. As you've seen, Eddie Hawks, Tom Johnson, Billy Wise, Quentin Moore, Derek Brown all pulled in to make their pits. Leaving Jason Lance, Jacob Vaughn, Cody McGork, Harrison Chandler out front. As Tom and Eddie are lined up pretty good, hopefully Billy can get up there with them. Looking out behind Billy Wise, seeing if we can see the field. Don't see him yet. Here comes Harrison Chandler, but he doesn't have anybody pitting with him. That's not going to be good for him. Your leaders out front: Jason Lance, Jacob Vaughn, Cody McGork, Brian Lawhead, Stephen Kiefer. Coming to 16 to go. With Jason Lance out front, followed by Jacob Vaughn, Cody McGork. That second group led by Tom Johnson, just going down the backstretch right now. And that lead pack is closing in on him. I don't think that lead pack has enough fuel to make it. Maybe they do. Here come leaders in the pit. Jacob Vaughn's getting a little bit loose. Locks it up. Him and Steven make a little bit of contact, but I think they're still able to get in there. That's leaving Brian out there all by himself. Cody's the first one to get out of his box. Let's see if him and Jason link up there. Here comes the second pack into the tri-oval. As Jason's there going in turn one, turn two. There's a big gap between him and Cody. And here comes these cars already at speed. These four should be able to fly by these three cars that aren't nose to tail yet. As long as they can get them while they're all single file or a single car run right now. Yeah, there's a big gap between them. Let's see if Jason starts backing up to Cody to get that draft. Yep, Jason allows Cody to get there. Gets him a little bit of help. That's Steven Seward there in no man's land. Stallone puts it there on the high side. He's trying to make his way around Stephen Kiefer there in the 22. Harrison jumps down low to join the bottom line. Let's see if Eddie can push Tom all the way up to the front there. I know that's going to make Cody want to push Jason a little bit harder here. We got 10 laps to go, folks. You paid for the whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge for here. That's Tom Johnson. That 23 is making a run there on the outside. Let's see if Tom gets a run here. As even Billy has deserted him on the high side and jumped down to the low line. Just leaving the 45 and 23 out there to fend for themselves. That's now Harrison and Billy both pull back up to the high side there. Jason Lance out front, but Tom Johnson surging there on the outside with help from the 45. Cody's there on the back bumper of the 76, trying to make sure they can stay up there. Jason able to stay out front. Cody's giving him great pushes just to keep him just out front. Seven laps to go. Things might get a little bit dicey here as they're 3 wide. Everybody's able to make it by. Tom Johnson surging out front right now. He's out by a fender. Here comes the inside line. Give Tom Johnson credit for leading that lap there. He puts a 23 Ford Mustang out front. Let's see if Tom can make another surge here. We're coming 5 to go. Five to go, and you got the 45 pushing the 23, trying to get him back up front there. As you see Billy Wise and Harrison going 3 wide on the high side there. Looks like Billy might got on the wall a little bit. That's going to kill her momentum. Cody jumped up there to the middle line. Everybody's getting real antsy to go. We still got 5 laps, make it 4 laps to go. You see the 45 there searching for a lane. He doesn't know which way to go. We're 3 wide here for second spot. Between the 22, 28, and 32. Jason Lance out front. Stop me if you've heard that one before. Billy Wise in the 29 with a hell of a push to get him out front of everybody right now. Cody gets to the side of the quarter pail. They're wrecking. The 45 and 32 in the outside wall there. Gonna set us up for a green-white checker finish here. As you see, Billy's sort of right there in the middle of the second, third lane. Cody decides to pull down and try to get beside him. They make contact, turns Billy. A little bit of right front damage to Cody there. That's going to hurt him in the draft. He makes a little bit of contact. Jason puts Billy right up in the wall right in front of the 45. Eddie Hawk said he didn't have anywhere to go. Like I said, that's going to set us up for a green-white checker here. All right, field is restacked. Lights are out in the pace car. Harrison Chandler out front, followed by Jason Lance, Cody McGork, Stephen Kiefer, Tom Johnson 5th, Jacob Vaughn 6th, Blue Y 7th, Quentin Moore 8th, Derek Brown 9th, Brian Lawhead 10th. Pace car is off the track. We're getting ready to go. They fire off. Harrison gets a good jump. Hopefully not too good of a jump. That outside lane's really moving now. Jason Lance out there, Stephen Kiefer. You got 28 and 23 of Tom Johnson there on the low line. Cody gets himself out of shape. Jason with a nice move to cross over Harrison. As Harrison went to go up to get the high side, Jason pulled down. Him and Stephen Kiefer out. Jacob Vaughn third now. Harrison doesn't have any help there on the high side. Coming to the white flag. Jason Lance out front, Stephen Kiefer. Here comes Jacob Vaughn. He's looking to get some help from Harrison. Maybe they can make a run. I thought we got the white flag there. Contact between the 66 and 32. Puts him up in the wall. That brings the caution flag out. I thought maybe something was going on with the overlay, and that's why it's just showing the yellow 2 to go. Apparently he did get the white flag. So, your finish. Jason Lance has won once again. Stephen Kiefer second. Harrison Chandler third. Jacob Vaughn fourth. Fifth, Cody McGork. Sixth, Quentin Moore. Tom Johnson seventh. Derek Brown eighth. Billy Wise ninth. Andrew Smith 10th. Brian Lawhead 11th. Michael Eaton 12th. Eddie Hawks 13th. Johnny Berardi 14th. And Jennifer Capers 15th. As Jason Lance goes back to back. Hey, Harrison, you got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, congratulations on your third place finish tonight.
Thank you. It's far from average finish. Far better out of a finish than what I usually do get average here. I don't know, man. I'm kind of worried. My finishes get. I've led the most in every race, but I keep finishing one spot worse every time. I won at Homestead, then I got second at Martinsville, and now this is third. Man, that big wreck, I got so lucky. Oh my God, we were 3 by 3. That was so awesome, and we were going, and then Calamity hit, and I thought I gotta stay all the way up to the wall as far up as I can, and I barely squeaked through with the lead, and oh man, I should have. I saw Jason making the move to the inside. I probably should have tried a second block, but I didn't want to risk it. Oh, but man, top 3, I'll take it. This is I love this league. I love it. It's just, these guys. They're very, very clean. They are very, very amazing. I just love racing with them so much.
Tonight's race was awesome to watch. You guys put on a great show all the way through.
Thanks. Thank you. Yes, they deserve a heck of a lot of credit. It was awesome, man. I was just awesome. I loved every second of it.
Your enthusiasm is awesome as well, Harrison.
Thanks.
Let's not sell that short right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I trust me, when I see that you are in the field and there's a chance I get to interview, I get excited as well, because I always know what type of energy you're gonna bring, and it's great.
Thank you. Next week's Texas, I'm most likely gonna do that. I've been doing this TMS therapy for over a month, and it's finally going to be done this week, so I finally am able to be pretty much free for the weekdays. So I want this to be a, yeah, I mean, of course I missed some races, but going forward, I want this to be pretty much a full-time thing, not going extreme for the championship, but I want to make it as many races as possible. Cause, oh my God, it's so awesome. I love it, man. It's just, man, it's just so great. I take a third place, here is the equivalent of a win. I mean, it really is. It's just, I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I finished. I'm glad I finished top 10. I'm glad I finished top 3. If,
That-
of all things.
That's the biggest thing there, right there. It's just making it across the finish line.
Oh man, it's just so great. It's such a great race.
All right, Harrison, go ahead and give a shout out to all your people, man.
Yeah, 20-year-old autism, Tourette's, intermittent seizure disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, all that, you know, and it's thanks to my parents for sacrificing everything for me. They've done so well, they've done so much for me, giving me my rig, my PC, my everything, friends, and family who have, will, and currently believe in me throughout all the way. It hit 2 years and a month now. My best friend companion Lovey died from bone cancer. Peace to her, along with my other dogs and cats. Talladega. It's just, I can't believe it.
All right, man. We'll see you next week at Texas.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It's just so fun. It's awesome. So charitable, this league. I just love it unconditionally. It's just perfect. This is the perfect league, literally. It's so great.
Like I said, your enthusiasm and energy. I love it, Beth. I love it.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for the broadcast. You the viewer at home. You know, this was awesome. This is just awesome. Got a great season ahead of us.
And hopefully we get to talk to you again next week, Harrison.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a good one. Steven, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, congrats on your runner-up position tonight.
Yeah, thanks. It's another good night. Go figure, you know, my weakness is short tracks and plate tracks. And I finished second.
Hey, if your weakness is finishing second, all right, let's see what happens when you get to a track you actually like.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, it's a good point tonight. And happy to have a good finish, because these things make me nervous riding these big packs.
Yeah, because you never know when the big one's going to break out. And there at the end, when everybody went 3 wide, I was like, uh-oh, here we go.
Yep, I was worried about that myself. But, keep your head on a swivel, I guess.
That's what they always say is, you know, watch out for everybody else, not so much yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But it's a
mean,
good night. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, there at the end, what happened there? Because I wasn't sure if we got the white flag or if the yellow came out before that.
The yellow came out, and I think they were wrecking mid to backpack. It looked like, you know, whoever was in the lead when the green flag, you know, it's the nature of these kind of races where he's trying to block both lines, and he slowed up one line really bad. And then I just went in with, I followed Jason. I think it was the outside line slowed, but then the other guys were talking that the inside line got slowed too back there.
Yeah, looks like Cody went to go push Harrison, and he got a little bit loose, or maybe Tom just got into the bumper coming off of 2 just a little bit too early. But they got discombobulated down low, and that gave room for Jason to go low on Harrison when Harrison went to go block the high line, or at least jump up there and get that momentum.
Yep. And I race with Jason a lot, so I kind of follow him. Little loyalty thing there. We've done a lot of practicing together. So
I mean, he's definitely not a bad one to follow. If you follow him, you
yeah,
seem to usually find your way up to the front.
yeah, yeah. He's usually winning these things. So
All right, Steven, why don't you go ahead and give a shout out to all your people?
oh yeah, that is the Action Shed Shop and Gold Coast Settlement Services and Sim Ability and Billy Wise did this paint job, so I like to thank him. So you go check all of his paints out if you're interested in paint. He's got so many of them for his cars. But I really like racing in this league. It's fun. Guys are my friends, so it's good to have a good showing.
Yeah, this league tonight definitely put on a great show. There
Cool.
towards the end, it really got exciting.
Cool. That's what I keep telling them since we're broadcast. It's like let's put on a good show. Pro level, as I
Hey,
say.
you guys never fail to put on a good show.
All right, thanks, man.
Hey, thank you, Steven. Hopefully, we get to talk to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Bye.
Welcome to Jason Lance Victory Lane.
Hey man, it's great to be here, but I wasn't really expecting to be here tonight. It just happened that way.
You made a great move there on the backstretch to get yourself here, so you made the right moves at the right time tonight.
Yeah, it's just there's not so much for me to talk about tonight. I was just staying back for seeing like in the beginning to middle of the race, and I start moving up. And once I moved up, gosh, I got to the front really quick, and I just pretty much stayed with that front pack. Just made all the right calls during the pit stop. Put on the uh, put on a good lap with some other good drivers, so we came out together.
Yeah, you made a smart move when you guys came out, because I noticed there was a big gap between the three of you, and you left Cody get to you, which I think saved you guys. Because if you all three would have just ran as fast as you could without trying to team up there, I feel like Tom in that pack was gonna eat you guys up real quick.
Yeah, I thought they were going to pass us, and I was going to fall behind them, but I still had the draft. But I wasn't expecting to still remain out in front once we exited the pits.
Yeah, that surprised me as well. I was expecting you guys to get your doors blown off, but everything played out in your favor there. Which, once again, leads to another victory for you.
Yeah, I don't often win at these super speedway tracks. I mean, it's just like gambling. You either do well or you don't. And a lot of the times, it's not even of your doing when you get caught up into something.
That's very true too. It's the luck of the draw for the most part with these races, and some people are just good at getting there, and you made the right moves because, like you said, when you moved up the outside, you're able to move your way up through the field, and like I said, you made all the right moves tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I thought Harrison had went a little early on that final restart. I mean, usually everybody waits until the green flag comes out at the very last moment when that's called, but he went just before then. He kind of screwed himself a little bit getting that jump on a lot of us guys. Something that,
Harrison sort of got a little bit of a bump from the person starting third there. They got a little bit antsy, and I think that sort of made Harrison jump then a little bit early to go.
yeah, I thought Cody was going to come up when I was on the outside. I thought Cody was going to come up to me like he didn't know I was there, so that's why I moved up to the top, and then once I moved to the top, then boom, Harrison was there, and then right behind him. Then the caution came out. Well, no, the caution had come out because Harrison won at that point. But on the backstretch, I made a move on Harrison and got in front of him, and then that's right when the caution came out. Not too long after that.
So what? There was only one green-white checker, huh?
Yeah, we only have one.
Okay, that explains to because I was wondering why. Because I was like, my race log showing the yellow flag came out before we got the white flag, but then I was getting ready to show some commercials. I come back and I seen the checker flag, and I'm like, oh wait, never mind. We don't have another green-white checker.
Yeah, it just depends on the league what they choose to do. Our league, they have 4 attempts. This one, I guess they have 1. But
I'm all for only having one attempt because it seems like if you have more than one, you're gonna have more than one accident.
right. Plus, you take your last chances running out of fuel. We had to go again. I don't know if I probably would have ran out coming to the line.
Well, Jason, what's your outlook for Texas?
I'm pretty. You're gonna laugh at this. I was gonna say I feel comfortable there. I think I'm pretty good.
All right, everybody else in the league, you hear that? This is the first time that Jason's actually said he feels comfortable at a track coming up. So I think we're gonna have to double up our practice laps this week.
But, I think we do pretty darn good for a bunch of us who are disabled.
You guys do great, even for people who aren't disabled. Don't
Yeah,
sell your guys self short. You guys do a great job.
Yeah, it's not like the stereotype where disabled people can't do anything. I mean, we still can do stuff and have fun with it.
You guys put on a better race tonight than in a lot of leagues I've seen. So, like I said, Talladega can usually turn into a shit show real quick. You guys, besides 1 or 2 accidents, everything else was great racing all night.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of practice, and a lot of guys, including me, we come along so far ever since the beginning of this series, or when we started racing together. So we had like street stocks and late models, so a lot of us have stuck around, so a lot of us have experience racing around one another.
And that shows. That always shows in the race and with leagues that have been around for a while, especially when drivers have experience with other drivers. Then the racing's so much cleaner. There's a lot more respect there to it as well.
Oh yeah, getting off here. It's like 77 degrees in here. It feels a lot hotter than that.
All right, Jason, why don't you go ahead and give a shout out to all your people then?
Just friends and family, of course, who put this on. Anybody who's dealing with a disability or terminal illness, something like cancers or ALS. I mean, that's sad. You'd think that they would have some sort of cure since it's been around for so long. I mean, ALS has been around since like Lou Gehrig. I mean, he's the one that made it really known. That had been like in the 1930s or so.
Yeah, you're right on that one.
So yeah, just keep awareness of all those nasty diseases and stuff going out there. People who have to go through that. So I'll see you at Texas, and hopefully I do good there.
All right, Jason, we'll see you at Texas, and you have a great night, man.
All right, night.
All right, and that's going to wrap it up for this week here at Talladega for the Sim Ability Racing League. The guys put on a great show tonight. 60 laps of action. Harrison with the block, and Jason with a smart move to cross him over, and Steven followed him through. That's how we ended up where we ended up tonight. That's great racing by all. And we'll see you guys next week in Texas. Y'all have a good one.